Oh my fucking god. I don't even know what to fucking say. I am absolutely fucking speechless right now. I told you guys that Bad Blood was going to be a historic night. Holy shit, it fucking delivered. Oh my god. I don't even know what to fucking say. This was by far probably one of, if not the most chaotic PLEs we have had all year long. And think about this. This whole year, 2024, has been red hot. I mean, think about how many PLEs we have had up until this point. We've had 1, 2, going through my book, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have had 15 PLEs this entire year, counting tonight's Bad Blood, and we still have 1, 2, 3. We still have about like 3 or 4 PLEs left, which is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I don't even... Again, tonight, absolutely chaotic from the first match on the card to the main event. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to get straight to the point with the results and review of Bad Blood. We are kicking things off, obviously, with the hosts of Bad Blood, Naomi and the women's tag team champions. Excuse me. Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill announcing that the first match on the card would indeed be Hell in a Cell between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Now, obviously, I did talk about this at Bash in, for Bash in Berlin, but the rivalry between both Punk and Drew, it doesn't just date back to last year's Survivor Series. This goes back a very long way to when CM Punk was actually WWE champion. Drew McIntyre needed guidance, and he thought Punk was gonna be that guy to give him guidance, but you guys already know. You guys already know what's up. And it's weird because I said that Hell in a Cell was going to be barbaric. It was gonna be horrendous. And boy, did it ever live up to the hype. It lived up to the fucking hype. Punk gets busted open. Drew McIntyre gets busted open. Punk gets busted open by way of the cell itself, but Drew McIntyre gets busted open by way of a toolbox. How does that work out? How is that logic, huh? I'm kidding. It's pretty possible, but this was... I don't even know what the fuck to say. This was probably one of the most insane Hell in a Cell matches we have had. As crazy as it sounds, I'm probably gonna get a lot of heat for saying this. I would say this was about as chaotic and crazy and hellacious as the one with Triple H and Kevin Nash back in 2003, if I remember correctly. So it's pretty crazy. It was pretty fucking crazy in my honest opinion. But I will say we knew of the lengths that both these men were gonna go after. This went for almost an hour. And that's not even counting their own entrances. This went on for almost an hour, which was insane. And the final like 10 minutes of the match, Drew McIntyre goes underneath the ring, grabs a bag, a little bag. Now, typical Hell in a Cell fashion, you would think he'd pay homage to Bang Bang, a little Mick Foley with thumbtacks. No, it was pieces of bracelet that literally they were parts of bracelets that you would see people make. Obviously, literally, it was like little beads. The beads off of bracelets, and that completely backfired on Drew McIntyre as he attempted to hit a claymore onto CM Punk. That backfired. Drew's back hit the steel steps, and it took that all of that plus a GTS using a chain wrapped around his knee for CM Punk to pick up a victory. And it was after the match that made all the difference. CM Punk collapsed and needed medical attention like right off the bat. McIntyre was in disbelief. He was distraught. He was in pain, and oh my god, this was by far the most chaotic Hell in a Cell matches we have seen in years. And honestly, I'm not gonna complain. I think this was the match that was the right call. I think Adam Pearce made the right call by having this match take place inside Hell in a Cell, because I feel like if excuse me, because I feel like if it wasn't inside Hell in a Cell and this was just a regular like match, like a last man standing match or something like that, there would be no definitive winner. So I'm glad that Pierce made the decision to do Hell in a Cell, but at what cost? That's the question. At what cost? I'm not even gonna say a word. Not even gonna do anything else. 5 stars. Holy shit. I don't think there could have been any other way that this match would have gone. I think the way it did, I think was the right call, booking wise, because because Drew McIntyre was already over. He was already over, and he had already been established as probably one of the biggest heels on Raw, whereas opposed to CM Punk, he had already been established as one of the bigger baby faces on Raw, alongside guys like Rey Mysterio and the LWO, guys like excuse me, guys like Seth Rollins and guys like Braun Strowman and R-Truth, where as opposed to Drew McIntyre, now he's on the heel. He's established himself as one of the bigger heels alongside guys like the Final Testament and the Judgment Day and whatnot. So so I'm glad that this match ended the way it did. This had gone on for far too long. And I know that some people might say that Hell in a Cell isn't a way to end rivalries. If it comes down to it, might as well, right? But all in all, now CM Punk can put his focus back on what matters most, which is 2 things. One is becoming world champion, and the second is main eventing WrestleMania. Maybe he will be able to finish his story, unless if Drew McIntyre pulls off some other bullshit this coming Monday on Raw, but we will have to wait and see. Next up is the WWE Women's title between Nia Jax, the champion, and Bayley, and this was a bit of a weird one because of the fact that this rivalry dates back a decade, and it goes back to both these ladies' days in NXT, where Nia Jax had challenged Bayley for the NXT Women's title at what was it? Takeover London? Was it NXT Takeover London? I think it was, and this was right around the time where pretty much three quarters of the four horsewomen of WWE or NXT had gotten called up to the main roster. I'm talking Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and of course Sasha Banks. Now, of course, doing her own thing outside of WWE. And ooh, excuse me. And obviously at that time, Nia Jax failed to become champion. Since then, she's already won what, two women's tag team titles, and she's won the Raw women's title, and now she's won Queen of the Ring. Excuse me. And also now the WWE women's title as well. So she's had quite a bit of success on the main roster, and excuse me, for the most part, it was all Nia Jax. Excuse me. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry about that, guys. Excuse me. Anyway, for pretty much most of the match, it was all Nia Jax. Offense, apps just crazy. Bayley gets in a few moves. Final moments of the match, the referee's down. Tiffany Stratton comes out after Bayley had hit Rose Plant onto Nia Jax. Tiffany attempted to cash in, but Nia Jax was like, no, not gonna happen, and ends up retaining the WWE Women's title. Obviously, we know that Tiffany Stratton at some point will cash in Money in the Bank, but who knows of when. Honestly, I think this might have been probably one of the worst matches of the card, in my opinion, because I feel like if Tiffany Stratton hadn't have gotten involved, or if she excuse me, or if she had cashed in Money in the Bank, like she had that moment right there was the perfect opportunity for her to cash in Money in the Bank. Had she have done that, or had she not have gotten involved, I think honestly Bayley definitely would have won, and this would have been a 3-star match. But I will be optimistic, and I will still give it 3 stars, because obviously this proves, this was a way for Nia Jax to prove how dominant she can be on her own without Tiffany Stratton. But I think this proved that Nia Jax has become, even though she's had a stellar year, a stellar 2024 this year, I think this proves that Nia Jax has become weak in spite of all the momentum that she's had all year long. Because of Tiffany Stratton, she has gotten weak, and she's become, I guess, soft would be the appropriate term, but at the same time, I think just weak might be a bit better in my opinion. But still 3 stars. I think Bayley did have a chance to win. Had she have tried to wake up the referee instead of go for the cover, but that's just me talking. That's just my opinion. But we now move into a grudge match between Finn Balor and Damian Priest, former brothers in the Judgment Day, now bitter rivals. I don't even know what to say. I mean, this is Damian Priest we're talking here. Priest has become so good, or rather, he has gotten so much better in the ring since becoming world champion at WrestleMania. He's gotten a lot better in the ring. His promo skills have been exceptionally incredible over the last couple of years since joining Judgment Day. But not only that, but not only that. with him as now as a former world heavyweight champion, he's now established himself as a top contender to be champion once again. But of course, Finn Balor had other ideas, which obviously led to tonight. Obviously, Balor had quite a few flurries in the match. Carlito and JD McDonough in part of the Judgment Day got involved, but it all backfired on Finn Balor as Damian Priest hit South of Heaven onto Finn Balor to pick up the victory. Honestly, this was pretty crazy. This was pretty chaotic as is, but I'm gonna give this one 3 stars. I think I think in my honest opinion, as crazy as this sounds, and I know that I'm probably gonna get some form of heat for saying this, but I feel like in spite of the victory that Priest got, I feel like Finn Balor should have won, because this would have established himself as a potential threat to the World Heavyweight title, which is currently being held by Gunther. However, we don't really know exactly when if he will become champion. As we know that as we found out that that oh my god, now I lost my train of thought. Oh right, as this coming Monday on Raw, Gunther will be defending the world title against Sami Zayn, so we don't really know if so we don't really know for sure if we are going to be seeing Gunther as champion after this Monday, but we will have to wait and see. But speaking of the World Heavyweight Championship and the World Heavyweight Champion, we found out later on, literally following that match, Triple H announced that there would be 2 matches scheduled for the next main roster PLE, which is obviously going to be Crown Jewel. So at Crown Jewel, the current WWE champion Cody Rhodes will face off against Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, and the winner will receive this championship, which is known as the WWE Crown Jewel Championship. And honestly, in my opinion, it looks pretty cool. It's a lot different from most of the other, from pretty much all the other championships we have right now. But not only will this be happening, but the match but Nia Jax and Liv Morgan will face off for the Women's Crown Jewel Championship as well. So there is a lot going on with that. So we will be seeing that, and that also leads, speaking of Liv Morgan, this actually leads to Liv Morgan facing off against Rhea Ripley for the Women's World Title, with Dominic Mysterio inside a shark cage, and Liv was like, and not Liv, Rhea was like, hold up, one last trick up my sleeve. You're afraid of heights. Raise the cage. He was about 10 feet in the air, and Dom was just like, no. Literally sitting in the corner, grabbing onto the cage like, oh my god, get me the fuck out of here. Literally just tripping. He was tripping the fuck out. But this match actually went really well. Literally for the most part. But it was the final moments of the match that honestly made all the difference. So obviously Liv had gotten a few crazy moves in, including a code breaker from the second rope onto Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley applied the Prism Trap, which is her submission, onto Liv, and it was the closing moments of the match that made all the difference. So Dom somehow, some way unlocked the door, the cage door, and literally he was like creeping out, falls over and gets his foot tangled, and he's hanging upside down like a piñata. Rhea tells the referee Dan Engler, look, I'll deal with Liv in a second, but I got some unfinished business. And the referee was like, you deserve it. Go on. Okay, go on. She takes a kendo stick, starts beating the hell out of Dominic Mysterio. And right as Rhea Ripley was about to go back into the ring, she comes back out and gets attacked from out of nowhere. But out of nowhere came the return of Raquel Rodriguez. Obviously, we did not see her at all since Elimination Chamber, when she had that when she had those health problems, which I did talk about earlier this year on the channel. Which if you guys haven't checked out that video, definitely check it out, and then come back to this video and realize and think about how several months have passed. So February, 8 months. She was gone for 8 months, you guys, which is crazy, absolutely crazy. Obviously this forced out a disqualification. Liv Morgan is still champion, and Raquel hit Rhea Ripley with the Tejana Bomb for Liv Morgan to retain the title via a disqualification. And I think it's safe to say that there might be a new member of the Judgment Day, which can basically lead to War Games that will feature Pure Fusion Collective, and of course as well the Unholy Union against, or perhaps Pure Fusion Collective, Liv Morgan, and some other and someone else, could be literally anybody, against Rhea, Damage Control. I mean the possibilities are out there. I mean, I would say Unholy Union, but it will probably end up having to be Pure Fusion Collective, Liv and Raquel against Rhea, Damage Control, Lyra Valkyria, and maybe Zelina Vega. But if those two don't get involved, then it'll probably end up being Caden Carter and Katana Chance at some point. But we will have to wait and see. But overall, I mean the match was all right. The ending was kind of bullshit in my opinion, but still pretty crazy. 3 stars. Not much happening with that matchup, but I can pretty much assure you guys that it's far from done. And the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour, I think it's still going to end up going strong. But excuse me. But we now move into the main event, which was probably one of the biggest main events ever. Never before, and probably never again. Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, the WWE Champion, against the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. I don't even have the words for it. This was probably by far one of the most insane main events we have had all year. I would probably say since WrestleMania earlier this year, back in April, night 2. On night 2 of WrestleMania with Bloodline Rules. That was insanity. This right here is on that level. Cody and Jacob end up starting the match. A couple minutes in, disaster kick to Jacob. It went pretty wild for a few minutes. Solo gets tagged in, Roman gets tagged in, and that's when the fight begins. Near fall after near fall Superman punch. spears, and it was just insane. Roman actually literally made good on his word and had Cody's back, which honestly was crazy, because I did not think that Roman would actually, would actually have Cody's back. I did not think that would ever happen. And think about that. Think about this. Think about this. Cody and Roman, their careers have truly intertwined with one another, dating back to 2013 when Cody and Goldust. Okay. When Cody and Goldust, with their father, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes at ringside, teamed up against The Shield, Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, and Cody picked up that victory. But when it came to the tag team titles, Roman got pinned by Cody. So think about that. The family feud ran deep with this matchup, and at the closing moments, the final several minutes of the match, Roman was attempting to hit a spear onto Solo. The tag team champions show up. And Solo ends up hitting Roman with the spear. Roman kicks out at 2, and there was a guy right behind the tag team champions, and it ended up being the return of Jimmy Uso. I never would have expected this to happen. Jimmy Uso hitting both tag champs with a super kick, which allowed Roman to hit Solo with the spear to pick up a massive victory over this new bloodline. Obviously, a nod of approval to Cody from Roman. Both Jimmy and Roman leave. The new bloodline comes in, takes out, literally just starts attacking Cody Rhodes. Roman and Jimmy go back in, save Cody, and right then and there, if you smell, you heard it, you just saw it. Yes, the final boss, The Rock, the People's Champ, returns for the first time since the Raw after WrestleMania. I think it's pretty safe to say that The Rock is after Roman, Jimmy, and Cody. I think that's what it's coming down to. So this is probably going to be by far one of the craziest War Games matches we will ever see. And we are literally a month away from Survivor Series. Think about that. We are a month away from Vancouver, BC. So it is going to be a crazy month for SmackDown. Do I even have to say anything else? 5 stars. This was 5 stars easy. I mean, given the fact that Solo just randomly like appointing himself as the tribal chief, and having, with all that chaos going on, there was, and with Jacob Fatu practically taken out of the equation by way of a Cody Frog Splash on top of the steel ring post through the announce table. I don't think there was any way that Roman and Cody were gonna lose. So this is an easy 5 stars. Overall, the card itself was pretty stacked. Not gonna lie, literally the middle of the card was okay, but it was the first match in the main event that made all the difference. They did an amazing job with Bad Blood. I'm gonna be optimistic. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I don't even know what to say except holy shit, the road to Survivor Series is going to be insane. And with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more PLE predictions and results in the future, then make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all my social media. All my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.